This really solidifies why I started this podcast. And for the most part, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's people in general, they think that we do this because we have no other choice. We do this because we're low skilled. We do this because for some reason there's a general, and you use the word disdain for servers. And this is the show today.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I even do the podcast, why we do the podcast, is to legitimize this as it's a real job, people. It takes real skill, and this is what I really want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Hi, welcome to the Modern Waiter Podcast. I'm Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter, where we discuss all things restaurant business. Learn something. Laugh at something. On today's episode, we look at why people hate restaurant servers.
Whew!
I receive comments like, maybe get a real job. The service industry is trash, so don't complain when people don't give you money. I'll explain why I get such hate in just a minute, but first, the intro.
I'm tired of working deadbeat jobs for lame pay. I'm tired of getting fired and hired the same day. If you know the rules of the game, then you'll stay. And if you don't, then you'll be a pawn while they play. I'm tired of working deadbeat jobs for lame pay. I'm tired of getting fired and hired the same day. If you know the rules of the game, then you'll stay.
As usual, I'm joined by my good friend Danny DeVilla.
What's up? What's up? What's up, people?
Welcome to our first show on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's going to be an evolving, ever-changing thing, but this is what you got. This is the first one.
This is what you got. This is what we're starting with. We're going all in.
All right, let's get right into it. We have a packed show.
Okay.
A loaded potato.
A loaded potato.
As we would say in the restaurant industry.
Yes.
Now, to be clear, I have no interest in doing a show about tipping.
No.
People are going to tip, and they're not going to tip.
Yeah.
That's fine. And they tip or not tip for...
And which is fine. For whatever reason they need to.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes the service isn't good.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't believe in service. Sometimes they're ignorant. Whatever. It could be your culture. You
Absolutely.
don't tip. That's not why we're here.
No.
But there seems to be a general
Disdain.
Yes. Yes.
You want to tell them the genesis of where this came from?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Now, what grinds my gears is the oversimplification of what we do.
Absolutely.
In the industry. And yes, let's give some context. Okay. I did a reel on my Instagram. It got almost 1 million views.
It did.
It has hundreds of comments. And it was, what?
15 seconds?
6 seconds? Not even 15.
It was quick.
It was a very short reel.
Yeah.
It was my response.
We're going to show you the reel. Are we showing them the reel?
No, they can look it up.
Okay.
They can look it up. It was my response, a Will Smith voice that says, I saw this going differently in my mind. Something like that. And I looked at a tip that was $20 on 200, 10%. No, nothing more. That was it. People, I'm allowed to be disappointed.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the tip. It was about the disparity between what I expected having an interaction with
the guest,
that particular guest, and
what was
correct. We get stiffed or tipped or over tipped or under tipped all the time,
and sometimes we're shocked, and sometimes we're sometimes we're surprised, sometimes we know exactly what's going to happen.
Yes, if you think that what's that called? The verbal tip doesn't exist.
Oh, it totally does.
exists.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's something for us. That's something for me. You don't like it? Too effing bad,
yeah.
Right? I get comments like, waiters and waitresses don't deserve any tips. Get a real job. You're lucky to get $2, wait 10 tables an hour, and that's already an extra $20 an hour more than most people make in an hour. I don't give a fuck what other people make in an hour.
We don't ask you what you chose to do as your profession.
No.
Okay. This is what we do. This is how we make a living. We respect it because a lot of us, to be honest with you, could easily be doing what you do or be taking your job away from you. So be happy we choose to do what we do because I could easily be doing something that does what you do.
Now, I'm not an arbiter of what anyone does for a living. So this really solidifies why I started this podcast. And for the most part, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's people in general, they think that we do this because we have no other choice. We do this because we're low skilled. We do this because, for some reason there's a general, and you use the word disdain for servers. And this is the show today.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I even do the podcast, why we do the podcast, is to legitimize this as it's a real job, people. It takes real skill, and this is what I really want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Now, article after article, when the pandemic happened, of, there's a labor shortage. Restaurants don't have servers and staff in general. Long wait times. Places had to close on certain days. How ubiquitous was that? How often did you hear that on the news?
All the time.
Now you say get a real job, quote unquote, and you can't have it both ways. How are we essential and at the same time
unessential?
It bothers me. I found it. I didn't really even want to do the show.
I told him we were doing the show. And I said I wanted to be the first show on YouTube so you could see our facial expressions and all the above, because to me it's very important to vocalize things in our community as well as clear the air on certain things as well.
Okay. Now, hotels, restaurants, cruises, there's any number of places that still have labor shortages.
Absolutely.
Now, where do we go from here? Because it's really tough to feel that you're not valued
when you're reading things like this. And when you're reading comments which had nothing to do with, you don't have to go to my page, you don't have to follow me. Exactly.
And a lot of the people don't even have a profile picture on there. They're not following anybody, so they just want to be Mr. Rant. That's fine. But then if I were a person who was doing dirt for a living, you would tell me to go be, why don't you be a restaurant server or a restaurant worker? It's really unfortunate that you have that ignorant point of view. Anyway, now I don't even want to understand the hatred. I want you to understand that if I make a comment on a tip of being disappointed, I'm allowed to be disappointed.
Absolutely.
They use words like ungrateful. No one tells me how to be grateful or not grateful. I'm grateful every day of my life.
Yes.
But if I work for a living and I give you what you want, you owe me.
Yeah.
And you give me what is owed to me.
You get paid for a service. If I were to come and fix your roof, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden there's a leak, you would call me right away to fix that leak, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so I fixed the roof and it's perfectly fixed, but you only give me half of my money. Do you think I'm ever going to come fix your roof when you have a leak again? Or do you think, or now when your karma happens in a couple of weeks, when, it's a shoddy job, or somebody else comes out and fixes it, and they do a shoddy job to your roof, and you have leaking holes, that's your karma in the end.
Well, okay, let's.
I did it wrong. I said it wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, let's clean it up, but we're gonna press forward.
Yeah.
Right. What I believe is needed here is some education.
Yes.
I'm not looking for understanding necessarily, because for the most part, people have their opinions.
For the most part, people are amazing.
Well, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the hate.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do this if people weren't amazing.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do this if we didn't love our job.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't do this if there were advantages, and clearly they are. We've done shows on 10 reasons to be,
a waiter,
why to be a waiter or work in the restaurant industry and things like that. And now it's unfortunate that people have an opinion on something that they have no idea about. They have a small knowledge of it. You know that parable about the elephant?
No, but tell it to me.
Okay, well, when I was younger, there was a thought experiment of people that, let's say we're all blind and we're trying to describe an elephant. One person holds the tail and they say, oh, the elephant is skinny and flexible like a snake. One person holds a leg and say, oh, it's like a tree. It's strong and tall, very tall. One person feels the skin. Oh, it's like a tent. It's like a canvas. Another holds the trunk and says, oh, it's like a big fire hose. None of those single opinions really paint the entire picture of the elephant. But if you are going to take the tail and describe the elephant, you, my friend, are very ignorant and don't deserve to really, I don't want to say deserve. More importantly, know that you're forming an opinion on the whole just from a part. Mm-hmm. You look at tips. You look at we get things like, oh, you bring 2 plates. Oh, you just bring 2 refills and things like that. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Now, the paradox does exist. You know, restaurant servers are hated in a lot of ways. But then, at the same time, when we're not there, or when you get bad service, if you know what bad service is, you know what good service is, True. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, the good ones, you can replace a server really easily. And sure. that's a mistake that people do in the restaurant industry. They say you're replaceable. But then when you get replaced with the bozo, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you say that, oh, I had bad service, mm-hmm. or waiters are, they don't do anything and things like that. There are a great majority of people who are good at their job, just like any other place.
Absolutely.
Not every job not everyone that does a job does a good job. Does it well.
Absolutely.
And that was, remember we did our very first show was...
What is good service?
What is good service? Is I can't imagine going out and not at least attempting to describe what is good service. And it's not entitlement. It's not like when you walk in that door, you owe me money just because.
No.
It's earned.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's earned by my expertise as well. When let's say, was it Van Gogh? Van Gogh, was he Italian? He was in a pub, and this lady says, gives him a napkin and says, sketch me something. So he sketches her or something, and then he charges her a big amount of money. And then she says, how can you charge me for something that you put together in just a few minutes? And he says, you're not paying me for my few minutes. You're paying me for the years that it took for me to get to this point. And I look at serving just the same way. And you could disagree. I'm here because I have my opinion. I'm here because I have my opinion and I have my voice. But also there was one comment about what's the difference between selling.
Actually, let's back. I like where we were just at with that one. The years that you said, that right there is I think we should delve into that a little bit more.
Okay. Well,
because I've been called, and this is recent, it was a pleasure because you are a professional server.
Yeah.
Or you're an amazing, not just an amazing, but that word stuck with me as a whole, the word professional. Mm-hmm. He goes, the way you took control of the situation, or the way you ran the table from beginning to end was extremely professional.
Yes.
And when you add that to certain things, when you're doing something, I was always told as a child to, no matter what you do, be the best at it. Okay?
Very important.
So at this skill, at where I'm at in my life, like you're saying, I feel like I am at the top of my game when it comes to what I do.
Yes.
And this is why we do the show. This is because we feel like we have an array of knowledge to bring to the world. Okay? And different subjects and different things like that. And we are here for you to digest this and talk about things like that. And our opinion matters to people.
Okay. Let's. I'm going to go further into where you want me to go.
Thank you.
Now, one of the many comments on that post. Confused on why servers feel entitled to tips. Entitled. If I order 4 plates that cost $20 versus 4 plates that cost $200, why do you deserve more money? And that to me is unreal. Now, why do I deserve more money? Are you then equating that if I'm simply landing a plane and I land a 2-seater plane, or I land a plane that holds hundreds of people, one is to assume that there is skill involved. There's years involved. There's expertise involved. And guess what? There's less people that can land that hundreds of person plane than there is that can land that 2-person plane.
Absolutely.
And the same goes for that $200 dish. You didn't know what those ingredients were. Mm-hmm. You didn't know what we had. You didn't come and order at a kiosk and sit down and someone brought you something. That's not what happened. You asked me questions about the menu. You asked me questions about the wine. I know about the wine. I know about every ingredient. I prepared for this day. I've been preparing for this day for almost 30 years. 28 something years I've been preparing for this day. Now, I remember years ago, I called a plumber because I was stuck. I attempted to repair something for myself. As you can prepare meals by yourself at home.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go out. I got stuck. I called the plumber. He came. He used my part. He charged me $100. Okay? What did I just pay for?
His expertise.
His expertise. Now you come and you get the $20 plate. What could possibly be on that $20 plate? 4 $20 plates. Let's play it out in our minds, right?
Chicken.
Fries. Burger. There's only so much to know on that.
Mm-hmm.
Same
that you can make at home.
Same that you can make at home. That's besides the point, because there are many brothers and sisters who are out there, and I say brothers and sisters as fellow servers. Co-workers, that serve $15 dishes, $20 dishes. That's not the point.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
But you pay for the ability to be organized. If you at the same time have ever been frustrated by how long something takes, or if you didn't get your stuff on the side in just the way that you wanted, you can then acknowledge that the opposite is true when you do get it. When you do get those things. So there is skill involved. There is organization involved, and that, my friend, is the difference, because what you're paying for isn't just food. You're paying for service. You're paying for the experience. You're paying for the experience.
Just like when we're going to go back to the plane a little bit. If you're a passenger, and you pay for the economy, right? Okay. Or you pay for first class, or you go private. Mm-hmm. The difference in the price is the difference in the experience.
And you're still going to Denver.
And you're still going to the same place.
You're still going to Denver.
But you paid for that experience to go to that same place.
Yes.
Okay. The comfort level, all the above. You can sit cramped in the back and enjoy yourself and make it to where you want to be at.
And shut up about it.
And shut up and be about it, and not get your whatever.
Correct.
Or you can be in the front of the plane or on your own plane and get the full amenities of the service.
Listen, on the post, I started to really defend the position and to educate people. It's a landslide of crap.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Now,
it was a lot. I even jumped in there myself.
Here's what I don't understand. I get things like, that's why I prefer to be German and eat local restaurants. There, at least, people are thankful for every cent. Go fuck yourself. I'm happy that you're in Germany. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're in America, do as.
Yeah.
I'm not defending the tipping system, which I will go into the history a little bit in a bit. But if you know that it's different, why bother travel? Am I going to go to Japan and start to flout all their customs and rules because it's not like back home? Are you that stupid? And I got a lot of that. Oh, Americans are it's not my job to pay your wages. You are correct. You're correct. Now what? Now what? And I'll tell you what. My friend Omar tells me this all the time. It's like, if you're so okay with not tipping, please tell me when you sit down how much level service you want. You want 10% service? Tell me you tip 10%, you're going to get 10% service. But you don't. You steal my time.
Yeah.
You steal my expertise. And then you use words like grateful? I don't think so.
Doesn't work like that.
It does not work like that. I'm just going off of this situation as far as the post and then the reaction and the hate. And it's not just being cheap, because there's some people that say, hey, I can't afford to tip. And I respect that.
Yeah.
Because at least they're acknowledging something.
That you did a good job and they just don't have the means to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. And they say, like, I can't afford to go out because I can't afford to tip. That, my friend, is intelligent.
Absolutely.
And you're making a choice.
Yes.
You could save up your shekels, or you can go to the lunch counter, and you could do whatever. But then when you say that, oh, you should be grateful for, and there's all kinds of of reductive reasoning that is done when they suppose, the one that I read earlier about $2 on 10 tables. If I had 10 tables, nobody's getting anything.
Yeah.
They're not getting anything.
I probably just, when I have 10 tables, I probably deserve $2 chips. Okay.
That is true.
Because, at that point, you're busy and
You're
you
busy.
are neglecting, and they're not getting service. They are getting an order taker, and you can pay $2 per table for an order taker. But I'm not just an order taker. I am here for the full experience. And
Correct.
this is why we do what we do.
Yes. I delved into real estate for a little bit. You got to like people.
Yeah.
And I don't. I said that many times. Now, by the reasoning of some of these people, they don't see that they owe commission on a $200,000 home that was sold by the real estate agent. They want to set their own price, but they don't want to sell the house themselves.
They don't want to do anything.
They don't want to do anything, but they want to.
They want to reap the benefits and the rewards.
Yeah,
without doing any work.
that's stealing.
That is stealing.
You want to steal from that agent's time and that industry. You want to buck back against the industry. See what you get by trying to sell the house by yourself. See what you get, and you're gonna get what you get, and don't get upset. So if you say, oh, if this house is $400,000 and it still has 4 walls and a roof, why do you deserve more commission for the $400,000 house when this $200,000 house has 4 walls and a roof? Listen, sales is years of experience.
Absolutely.
That is technique. And guess what? A lot of service staff are considered sales.
Oh no, that is exactly what we do.
You didn't know that you wanted that truffle butter. You didn't know that went with that. I'm sorry. Big Jim at where I work, he sells his ass off, and he crushes it. And that is why you get the tips that you get.
Yeah.
Because you're selling the experience.
Absolutely.
You're working for this for the establishment, and you're bringing them more money than Bozo X that you can easily replaced with. Ooh, almost like
That is where you find your value in your employees.
Correct. And now
The perfect. So I have a good example. So my dad is in sales.
yes.
Okay, he's a little old school, but nobody messes with him at his job because he is killing them because of that same old school tactic. He is great with people, great with the follow up, great with, not great with the technology end, but great with every other aspect that people to this day are almost missing in the real world.
Yeah.
Okay. And it takes that kind of personality and personability to be a salesman.
True.
And that is really what it breaks down to.
True.
You know, if you're not a personable person or you can't come across and, you know, connect with people, then you're already behind.
You're really outing yourself by opening your mouth with some of these comments. Here's one. I don't really get it. Why the whole 20% thing? Like, is it much more difficult to serve a steak than a salad? Is wine harder to open and pour? I mean, you didn't cook the more difficult dish. $20 an hour of work is more than a lot of other jobs other people get paid for.
I want to know if this person can even use a real wine key. Or do they just cheat and go buy the one that just is really easy to work with?
Now, anyone can work a wine key. And I've seen people try to open up wine and champagne.
I see people fail miserably
Yes.
at opening wine.
Yes. Now, there's a nuance to opening wine. When you look at the style of wine or the age of wine, or when you take that foil off and you see the condition of the cork from the top, some corks are longer. Mm-hmm. You can break that thing if you don't pull it a certain way. You can almost anticipate having some integrity loss with an older bottle of wine. And there's a presentation and a pomp and circumstance that goes along with it that is appreciated by people that love wine. So yes, there is a difference.
Absolutely.
True, we didn't cook the steak. Now, listen, the restaurant business is, my friend used to say, it's a dirty, rotten business. And let's get into the history of this thing, because I believe that our counterparts in the kitchen are often underpaid, are often overworked, and often overlooked. That's a separate show. I'm a waiter. This is the Modern Waiter Podcast.
That's right.
Okay? And this is who I cape up for. I cape up for everybody, but I'm not really going to talk about carpenters either.
No.
Okay? So there are plenty other, chef shows out there.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of server shows. This is
us.
One. This is
us.
us. This is one of them.
Yeah.
One of the long ones.
You listen to
You're
it.
listening to them. Now, if you want to get into the history of tipping, it is disgusting. I cannot defend it. And I'm not defending it. I'm saying that we all are part of it because here we are. We live in America. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, if you're going to tell me you're going to throw away everything that America has to offer because you don't like politics or you don't like tipping or you don't like certain aspects, then good luck, my friend. Good luck. Go where you want to go.
Be wherever you want to be.
You can be wherever you want to be. Do what you want to do.
Do what you do. You.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as my knowledge goes, tipping was a real holdover. So bear with me. After the emancipation of slaves, well, tipping kind of was thought to come from the aristocrats in Europe and people that are well-traveled. They noticed that the Europeans would leave the change for people as a little thing, and that tradition came on. If you weren't a sharecropper after you were emancipated as a slave, you usually went into low-skilled jobs. You weren't allowed to read. You weren't allowed to do anything else. So what are you going to do? You're a porter at the railroad. You're a server or a maid or any number of those jobs. There was like barbers and things like that. And so they got tipped. Some moron attaches, to ensure promptness, as that's a myth. It was never that. It was just a part of it. Now, there was a movement to not pay black people. So they decided not to pay them and said, oh, you get tips, so here's my chance. Other areas didn't go along with it, but the restaurants kept it. There was a way to cut costs and not pay certain people. And there was some pushback. There was some pushback either from from laws, or it went back and forth. It oscillated depending on where you were. Some places says it was illegal for you for the tipping system for a few years. But they wouldn't find the person that gave the tip. They would find the person that received the tip. That's a little sketch in my book.
Yeah.
So as it goes back and forth, they ended up keeping the tipping system. But it wasn't really unanimously adopted, because obviously it's not right. It's not the proper way to pay labor. Now, the labor laws then adapted it to where you can pay your employee, which is what the restaurants really widely have. You could pay them less as long as it substitutes up to it aggregates,
as long as
up
it equals
to
out to minimum wage.
the minimum wage. Yeah. So you can get a per hour that's lower than minimum wage, assuming that you get tipped to make up for it.
Absolutely.
Now, am I defending that? No. Is that perfect? No. It just is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
Now, where are we? You travel here, know that it's the system here.
Yeah, that's the system.
If I'm going to adhere to any system in any part of the world, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So then here we are. Now a little bit of education for you. We don't get the whole tip.
No.
You give us $20, we're at best keeping 17. That's at best.
At best.
That's at best. There's something called tip share.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and tip share is owed whether you give us a tip or not.
Yes.
So in the case of 20% on 100, that's what, $20, right?
Yep.
And
out of that $100, we are most likely giving away $5 to $7 of it.
$5 to $7 of it. Now, so if you tipped 0, we
still owe that $7.
We owe that $7. We're negative $7.
Yes.
So you may come in and be righteous about not tipping, and I don't tip, and they make enough money. Oh, no. We make enough money because.
So that's when we both say, you owe us money. Because
Yes.
off the rip, whatever your bill is,
Yeah.
you owe us a certain amount of money. Okay, because we have to pay for that.
And that's why it matters how big the bill is.
Absolutely.
So if it's a $500 bill, we owe a lot of money. Off rip without.
Remember that $20 you were just talking about? Okay, and those 10 tables? Okay, off of that one table, if we just do the simple, it's either $25 or $35.
Correct.
From that one table.
From that
so
one table.
if you're only tipping $2 per table,
Yeah.
I need a lot more okay, than 10 tables just to make up for the one table.
Exactly. Now that's tip share. There's tip pools that split with other employees. Now the tip share helps to compensate the less compensated, like bussers, people that directly help us, like bartenders. Some places tip hostesses. Some scumbag managers take tips and things like that. I don't give a crap. That's garbage.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Get it together. And there's taxes. There are some people that in the comments that say like it's tax free. No, we got to pay taxes.
Yeah.
When you get tipped, especially on a credit card, that's all reported.
Oh yeah.
So
we all file our taxes every year.
yes. So you declare and you pay your taxes. So it's real.
Oh yeah.
Now, what is the real job versus what? What would you have us do? Because you rather not have servers? What is that? What do you think the end game is?
Yeah. What do you want? Do you not want to have service? Do you not want to have, because without the person selling you something, we might not need cooks. So that means everybody's going to be at home.
That is true.
Okay. That means there is no. So in the end, what? You want robots making your food and serving you your food?
It may come to that.
It might come to that.
And that's fine, but there's no experience in that.
None.
And so where do you think this ignorance and backlash come from? Are we just in an echo chamber where it's just a reaction to that? Because,
Yeah, like Cat Williams says, You need your haters. Okay? Embrace them. Said, if you got 1 or 2 haters, you really need to have 4 or 5 haters. Okay?
Well, we got him. We got him. And thank goodness we do work in a pretty awesome industry.
We do.
People are generous.
People are amazing.
For the most part.
Yeah.
People are friendly for the most part.
For the most part, people get it.
People get it.
Okay, we're talking probably about the 5%.
I don't know. I think
most.
it's more than that. But honestly, I don't give a crap.
No.
And if I did, I wouldn't be in this industry. But I don't want to hear about how it is in another country because that is one of the dumbest things you can ever say to somebody.
I've been to other countries and I've talked to their servers and they tell me the same. They go, they know here, okay, and they just choose to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know people that worked in our country and then went back to their country, and the only reason they still do what they do is because the country provides a good retirement package, but not because they're making more money or doing better for themselves.
Yeah.
It's the other part in the end. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's the end game, not the now game.
Understood.
And I think in our business it's very much a now game.
It is. It is a now game. But guess what? Listen, I don't want to be told, oh, you can't tell me how to feel.
No.
I could be disappointed if I want to.
Absolutely.
I could be upset if I want to. Listen,
yeah.
I do an excellent job. I do a great job.
You do.
And you, like I said, you can go fuck yourself. And on that, to the listeners, don't fuck yourself.
No.
We're grateful
To our
for you.
fans and all the people out there that understand what we're talking about,
Yes.
we do this for you every week, week in and week out. And the people that come and see us at our jobs, our regulars, we do this for you every week and week in and out. And all across the board, the people that are doing the damn thing and understanding what we're talking about, we love all of you out there. This is just for the few people that needed to hear they needed this.
They needed this. Now, what's interesting is when we were only audio on the podcast, you can listen to the podcast, you could subscribe to the podcast, but there's no way to comment on a show. Now we have YouTube. The comments are open. We're not going to lock the comments out. You can comment. I will listen. And to be fair, yeah, the system stinks, but at this point, what are you going to do?
Yeah, this is the system.
The system's a system. If you wanted to open up a restaurant, good luck trying to pay your employees.
You'd go broke.
You go broke and you'll be out of there.
Go broke.
So it's really one of those things that are just ingrained.
It is. It's ingrained in the system. And it actually, when you think about it, instead of paying what you would have to pay for that delicious steak that you're enjoying for probably $30, right, in this day and age, if they didn't pay us according, if we didn't get tipped, that same steak, if they had to pay us out of pocket, would be $50. That $30 steak, anywhere.
You're paying either way.
You're paying either way. So whether you decide to do it one way or the other, it's up to you.
Yes. Now, so thank you. Thank you for being good patrons. And speaking of patrons, one of the ways that you can support our show, check out our Patreon. The link is in the description. And this is our first show. We're excited to bring it to you. It's a lot more work.
Man. It's okay. We're getting the workfo going. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
We are happy to do it. And another way to support us is to take about 7.5 seconds out of your day to hit that share button and share it to someone and tell them you listen to the Modern Waiter podcast, and it was pretty cool. And now, definitely, if you really want the backlash to come to me, write me at the Modern Waiter podcast. I get emails all the time. I respond. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm a good follow. All about the
restaurant
industry.
Check out that reel on Instagram, too.
Or not. I don't care. I'm at the Modern Waiter podcast. I'm Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter.
I'm Danny the Villain. Subscribe, people.
We'll see you next time.
Later.